Okay, we're here at Nova Rock Festival, Austria's biggest rock and metal festival. Right left to me is Dan, guitar player from Disturbed. Dan, third strike in a row in the US. By the way, number 10 in Austria. Can a band like Disturbed plan such chart positions like you have now, or is this a thing where you say there's so many factors you can't expect that in advance?
We can't plan it. I think it's really the fans that do it. The fans are been very loyal to us, very dedicated as we have to them, and you know they know that we're going to deliver the best record we possibly can, and we're going to put our blood, sweat, and tears into everything that we do, and you know that's why we take our time. We make sure that we're going to give them the absolute best we can do, and when it comes out, they're ready for it. They're anxious for it, just as anxious as we are to get it out. So. We definitely applaud all the fans all around the world that have kind of stepped up to make a statement in their own of showing that there's a big fan base for this kind of music.
General to the topic chart positions in such a successful band like Disturbed, are they important for you, or are these just numbers that happen?
Well, I mean, I think it's great. I think it is important in a way because, like I said, it makes a bigger statement to the rest of the world. In a day and age where it's ruled by rap music or pop music around the world, it's nice to every now and then kick the door down and kind of remind everybody that you know that this music exists and it's never gone away and it's never gonna.
Your new album, I say, Believe in 10,000 Fists was full of hits. Of course, on the new album, Destructible, there are hits too, but in my opinion, there's some tracks which need time to grow, and some of them really want to be captured, I think, on a night or Haunted. Do you see that in the same way?
I think the thing that we've always been fortunate with is a lot of fans always pick a different favorite song, and that's great to me because I don't want to just give one song that is so obvious that fans are only you know, a fan of that one song. It's nice that everybody finds a different song that they connect with, whether it's something musically or lyrically or just the overall vibe of it. So like I said, I think that we put so much time into each song. We don't just try to get 2 or 3 singles out of it. We try to deliver a great body of work, and yeah, you know, it's nice that everybody has a different favorite.
You mentioned the lyrics. David is responsible for the lyrics. On the new album, they're darker. They're sometimes depressive. It looks like David have had a hard time in the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, well, I've said it a number of times, and as much as we love David like a brother, his misery creates great songs for us, so there's a benefit to that. And not that I want to see the guy have hard times. He just seems to have a black cloud follow over his head, and enough to where he's got to even stop and laugh about it sometimes too. He just sometimes can't catch a break. But like I said, it gives him reason to want to find therapy within the songs and kind of get certain things out.
This was the first time you produced the album on your own. Is it nowadays that you say, Disturbed, we don't need anyone outstanding because we know exactly what we want? And the second question, did you learn from Johnny K, with whom you that did the last 3 albums, that much that you say now we can make it on our own?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that we're not really saying that we don't need anybody, but I mean, in the future we probably will end up working with somebody else. But we've always been a very focused band. We've always known the direction of this band, and we did learn a great deal from Johnny K over the years, not only doing 3 albums with them but also doing demos with them before we were signed. So we're just at a new place in our lives now. We've been around for a long time, and we want to take on a new challenge and a new role. And going into the studio, we've always done pre-production beforehand, and the songs have always come out the way the band has brought them in the studio. Very little changes. We never had to rely on our producer or an outside source to take an okay idea and try to shape it into a hit song. It's just, we've been fortunate that the band has been able to figure out how to do that without that. So And Johnny K's been great. Like I said, maybe someday we could work with them again in the future. But at this point in our careers, I think we were ready to take on that new role ourselves.
Your last album has this fantastic cover version of the Genesis song "Land of Confusion." As far as I know, Believe has also a cover version. Is this right?
As far as what?
The Believe on the Believe album was also a cover version.
Not on Believe, but on the Sickness there was Shout 2000.
And was the time for a cover song for the new album not right, or is this a thing you say that this must happen and you can't push it?
We just, every now and then we may come up with a cover that we want to do, and just that's another challenge too. Nobody's ever asked it or suggested us to do it. When we did Shout 2000 and put it on the Sickness, that was something we were doing in the clubs back in the late 90s. It was something we wanted to take and turn into our own thing. And the same thing when it came up to doing Land of Confusion on 10,000 Fists. We already had all the songs written for the album, and I just had seen that video, the original video one day, and I was thinking of the lyrics and how much it kind of fit in with today's times and the theme of our record at the time, and thought it would be fun and challenging to kind of take something and inject a little bit of heavy metal into it and make it ours again. So this time around, we did record a Faith No More song, a Midlife Crisis, that we didn't put on the album, but we recorded it. We hope to find somewhere to release it and put it out, whether it's a soundtrack or a bonus track somewhere, but it turned out great. We were big fans of Faith No More, and so that was more of a tribute to them. The other songs, Land of Confusion and Shout, weren't really tributes to those bands. With all due respect to those bands, that was more of just the challenge of trying to put the Disturbed stamp on it. The Faith No More thing, even though we put a little flair to it and did our thing to it, that was more of a tribute to a great band that we were fans of.
Now it's the fact that David and you are the only two left in Chicago. Is the songwriting process now a little bit difficult, or does the new media help you there a lot?
Well, technology definitely helps things to be able to communicate and work on stuff from living in different states. But we've been fortunate enough. I mean, Mike lives up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and it's not a couple hours away. So it's a little more challenging for him because he's got to take a far drive a few days a week to work on the music. When I got riffs ready, he'll make the drives down, and we'll make the most of it. We want to get in a room and jam together and get those ideas out. And then with John this last time, he was at home spending time with his family. His wife was pregnant and due soon, so I was able, through technology, send him stuff over the internet to get him some of the ideas, and he was able to work on them and send them back to me. And we have a lot of trust, a lot of faith in each other, and knows that each guy is going to deliver. So when it was time for all of us to get together, we were already a couple steps ahead of the game.
Okay, last question, cover artwork. This kind of warrior on the artwork, was this like a statement to show that this is the hardest album you've ever done?
Well, the character on the album cover, which we just called The Guy, was something that developed over the years. It started out as just a basic, sinister, smiley face guy on there that we were doing before we were signed, and we used that in our merchandise, and we realized that people were starting to get that logo tattooed, and we're just a local band playing bars in the neighborhood, and we knew it was kind of taking off on its own, and it was growing into something. So we wanted that character to try to evolve over the years as when the band continues to evolve. And last time on 10,000 Fists, we had Todd McFarlane do the artwork for it and make him more of a character. And this time we used a guy, David Finch, who took it another step and continued to have the guy grow with us. And we wanted to make a powerful statement, calling the album Indestructible. We wanted a powerful image, and we thought that it was just making such a big statement of the guy just kind of walking through a wall of fire, not being fazed by it, and just coming out unscathed and just indestructible.
Thank you very much.